Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Scout Prepper channel. I took my daughter hunting the 2 days after Christmas, which was just this past week, and it got me thinking when we're sitting there in the woods. Do my children or my wife even know how to use the basic equipment that I've put together for them for emergency preparedness and beyond? Do they have any survival skills? Do they have any camping skills? Do they have any inkling of what they should do with the stuff that I've put together for the last 2 years or so? Worked hard to really develop these systems of equipment for us? The answer is probably not. Now, living in Texas and living in small town Texas, my wife and kids are probably better than some. They're not New York penthouse, butler, maid kind of people. Not that there's anything wrong with those people, but we're real people living in a real middle class income, actually a police income, which is pretty low. And so I want to say they're at least grounded and down to earth. My kids have been hunting with me since they were little. My wife comes from a small town just down the road, and so I think we're pretty grounded. But I'm going to do a series on how I would teach my children, and I will teach them on video, to use basic tools and the basic gear that I've put together for them, and that way it'll help. The thinking here is, what if you're not around? And it's not necessarily what if you're gone from this earth. What if you're not around? What if a disaster happens while you're at work and you commute, you're 30 minutes to an hour away? What if something happens while you're out of town on business? What if something happens while you're out hunting, while your family's at home and you're at the deer leash for the weekend, something like that? Or in my case, what if you're an emergency worker? I'm a police officer. What if you're a paramedic, a doctor, a nurse, a fireman? So there's a disaster in your area and you have to go be deployed to help others while your family stays at home. 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, there was a big tornado in the town next to us. It tore up a neighborhood real bad, and I was asked, I was voluntold to go help. As the neighboring police department, we secured that neighborhood because of some looting that was going on. It was a nice neighborhood, while the local police and the county sheriff's department kept on going with calls and things like that in the town. So that's a situation where everything's fine at my house. Everything's okay in my town. But I wasn't there. So if something did come up, would my family have the first aid skills or the know-how to do any of the things that they might need to do? Could they start a fire in the fireplace? Could they jumpstart the car if the battery was dead and they needed to go somewhere? Could they change a tire if the tire was flat and they needed to go somewhere? Or they had a flat coming back from the grocery store and I wasn't around. Now my brother's a mechanic. He lives in the same town, and generally if I'm stuck on something, he can come help. Some type of car trouble and anything like that. But what if that's not an option? So my goal is, I don't think that you teach them everything at once. Your wife, your kids. My wife's not super on board with being prepared. She now understands via the weather that we've had the last few years. She understands that it's okay to be prepared and that you need to be prepared. But she just kind of lets me handle all the stuff. She's not into any of the gear. She does not ever hunt with me. She's never gone hunting with me. So she's not against it, but she's not on board actively participating. My kids are fine. They love to go hunting. They love to be out there with me. They don't mind at all. But they don't necessarily have a ton of skills. So just as we didn't learn it all at once, we learned it all over time, I think the kids or the wife or whatever family member should as well. They should learn in small pieces. One of the easiest things to start with is going to be the bag. If you've made some type of emergency bag, tornado bag, a blackout bag, a hurricane bag, a earthquake bag, whatever you have in your area, if you've put some kind of kit together for your family, that's where you start. And if you put together a specific kit for each member of your family, like little tiny go bags or something like that, then you start with those, because they need to be able to learn to use the equipment you've set aside for them. They need to know how to use that stuff. You can get into other topics later, more advanced stuff like navigation or whatever. But I think that the family members, if you're going to teach them all, should be shown at least their bag first, or the family's equipment first, and cover the basics. They should know how to put up the tent if you have one, how to do the tarp in different situations for shelter, so cover shelter, how to build lean-tos and more advanced shelter, on fires, how to start a fire with the easy tools, lighter, tinder, wet fire, whatever, trioxane, how to use the military cook stove or the MSR pocket rocket that you have or what have you. And then go into some more advanced stuff. You know, you're going to frustrate them. I can tell you as a former Eagle Scout or a current Eagle Scout that got it in 1988, if you go into like bow drills and friction fires and all this hard stuff, it could frustrate them because those fires are hard to make. You know, in most cases you're going to get by with 50 survival matches and 2 big lighters that you have in your kit and you're good to go. But go through that. Learn how to do the water. Can they use the live straw, the frontier straw? Can they use the tablets? Whatever tablets you use, you know, the Aquamiras or the Katadins or the whatever. Can they use the water purification filter like the Katadin? Do you have a Berkey for the house? All those things. How do you do your flashlights? What modes do they do? Where are the spare batteries? How do you recharge those batteries? How do you use a knife safely? How do you use the saw, the shovel, the sleeping bag? You understand where I'm going with this. So kind of break it down in pieces. Start with the equipment that you have for those specific people, then go through the family's equipment, and then go through everything else. Go through the food. How do you prepare an MRE? How do you do this dehydrated food? Why do you do it? It's simple stuff for us, or anybody that's active in actively being prepared. Not necessarily super simple for someone that doesn't do it often. So that's the plan. That's the series of videos that I'm going to start putting together. It should take a little while, but I'm going to go through lessons in teaching your kids food, water, shelter, fire, light, tools, fishing, maybe some hunting, something like that. I don't think trapping and snare is anything for your family, but I'm going to go through all the topics that I can think of that would be good to teach your family. If you guys have some suggestions, I welcome them. Please put them in the comments. What would you teach your family, or what have you taught your family? What have you shown them so that they can get by if they need to when you're not there or incapacitated? First aid, another one that I mentioned. So basic stuff like that. Alright, that's where we're going with the Prepper channel. For the next few videos, let me know, again, what you'd like to see on there, your topics. Guys, as always, I appreciate the subscriptions and the views. Keep them coming. The Scout Prepper channel, which is under the Scout Tactical Network, is growing well. Already at, I think, 135 subscribers, and we're just in month 2.5, so doing pretty good. Check us out on the web at scouttactical.com and on Facebook at Scout Prepper. As always, thanks for watching.